We are and down in the bottom left position, spawning as the Protoss player from Team FNATIC. It is Harstem. And his opponent up in the top left, a member of KTRolster. It is none other than the Terran player, Flash.
All right.
There was a bet, by the way, that Flash was going to go for a proxy 2 racks, but I don't think that's likely on Whirlwind.
Who made that bet?
Someone in the Twitch chat.
Someone in the Twitch chat. This is well, this series, I want to say, despite the way that game looked when it ended, I thought that first game was surprisingly close. It simply got to a point where Flash is very good at recognizing situations where, hang on a second, I can get the tiniest advantage here and then snowball it as much as possible. I feel accelerating that process of making a small advantage a big one is really a specialty of Flash's. He exploits every opportunity given to him. And I don't think this series is going to end up being anything of an exception. But Harstem, very solid player, very confident in himself as well. And I don't think he's going to go on tilt as a result of that first loss as well. If anything, he's the player with nothing to lose here.
Exactly. It's always good when you're... Okay, if you're in second place in a race, right? You're in probably the best spot because all you've got to do is try and catch the person in front of you. You've got a target. If you're the one in first place, you know that there's a whole team of people trying to overtake you, and that's really what Flash has come into this DreamHack taking. Everyone was expecting people like him, Innovation, SOS, etc., to be doing incredible, steamrolling their way through and picking up easy foreign money. But, as we saw in the previous series, Flash v Demaga, it may not be that simple, and that's putting pressure on Flash, which he needs to show in this series he's able to deal with.
There is no easy money, man. And I thought, to be perfectly honest, they made that very, very clear. And Demaga, if anything, fired the opening salvo this weekend as far as that conversation is concerned. And now Harstem trying to do the same. We can see a scouting probe there. Will manage to get picked off, but not before scouting most of the main base. Will see everything he needed to see. Is he going to get a glimpse on the second gas as well? Not quite, but sees the factory going down. Knew it was a gas first as well. So Harstem going to want to be prepared here for early attack from Flash.
Now Harstem is just going relatively normal about his stuff. He's got his Nexus up very quickly though. That's the big difference to game number one. It was still early in game number one, but I believe it's slightly earlier this game. Flash seeing that though now is going to be taking a look out. He's going for Widow Mine drops, and I can see why, because remember in game number one, that's where he had a lot of success.
It's he's gonna have to try and find a way to really circumvent that here, to be honest. We've got the Forge coming down now as well for Harstem, just thinking about the long game. Wanting to get units out ASAP, but also making sure he can get those upgrades down as well. Number of workers at the moment, 24 to 19 in favor of our Protoss player. Flash doesn't look like he's looking to take a natural anytime soon, so I think he's just going to be going for a huge, huge attack here. If Harstem defends well, this could be his opportunity to come back.
Now, it is a big risk Flash taking here, but it makes sense, because if you think back, Harstem in game number one was exceptionally greedy in terms of getting down as many upgrades, tech, and economy as he could, and sacrificing his standing army at the time. But this game, a photon cannon in the natural may just be the small little defensive advantage he needs to really level things out. But he's got to identify this as a one-base play ASAP.
Yeah, Harstem at the moment, good positioning on these cannons. The Mothership Core is out now as well. How much energy does it have? 65 at the moment, and Flash is already coming out across the map with the medevac. Will the Mothership Core spot it? Where is this medevac going to go? Flash boosting it, knowing the time is of the essence here, wanting to kill off as much as he can as early as possible. 29 to 24, the work count. Here comes the medevac into the main base. It's a pocket that I think Harstem has no vision of at the moment, but here we go, spotting it straight away. Now what will be done?
Well, straight away, still we see Flash gonna drop down. The Widow Mines are going to burrow. Needs to get those gateway units away. Does get a Stalker picked off. The Mothership Core taking a bit of fire as well. Needs to try and keep that alive if he can. Oh, the Marine.
The one Marine! Oh,
he's a hero!
Beautiful micro there from Flash, picking up the Marine, depositing it across the other end of the base to take apart the Mothership Core. There will be no Photon Overcharge right now for Harstem. He is chrono boosting the Mothership Core to come back as soon as possible. He has Widow Mites inside his base. They are terrorizing everything. We've got the robotics facility about to complete, so we will have a situation shortly where we can get the first observer. But until then, even if it is just one Marine, Flash has complete control over the natural expansion, and a Banshee is coming in to help.
That Banshee is possibly the one thing Harstem definitely did not want to see, because it's got Cloak on the way as well. These Widow Mines slowly creeping their way forward. There is an Observer out now, though, that should be able to help pick it up, but the Banshee still being a threat. Cloak not going to be helpful because of that Observer, but yeah, I'd still say, all in all, Flash in a very controlling position, especially as he's picking off a couple more workers. However, Harstem's still ahead overall.
He's denying a lot of mining time at the natural expansion as well, which has to be, which can only be a good... Oh, needs to be careful about that Stalker, and that is the hit that he wanted. Looks like that Widow Mine might go down before it gets another shot off. It will indeed, but look at this, the Banshee able to pick apart that last Stalker, and all of a sudden Flash now, just with a huge advantage, second Banshee coming in as well. If he is able to get into a position where he can kill off a couple more probes and possibly deny this natural expansion, he's going to be in a great position. But now, Harstem looking like he wants to try and come back down, but he's got no anti-air. Two Stalkers now, okay, that's going to help.
He's also got the Immortal there. Remember, Flash has only just taken his natural base now, but that is still a natural base that he didn't have previously. His economy is still looking quite good. Harstem defended for the time being, but another push making its way across the map, as well as with the aid of a tank, not something that you frequently see in the TVP matchup.
How does Flash do this? He put on so much aggression early game. He didn't even think about an expansion until much later. And look at this. He's basically going for a 1-1-1 now, timed out with a natural expansion. And somehow, he's only one worker behind Harstem now. He's put on so much pressure. He's done so much damage that this is all becoming worth it. And these Siege Tank and Banshee is going to be able to apply so much more DPS to the army. He is heading home now, but I wonder if there's a follow-up planned.
His follow-up is quite simple, really. Is that I'm just going to be going a lot more standard off the back of this. I've got my upgrades coming down, I've got my tech there, I've got my expansion, but Harstem is moving across the map. Is he actually going to risk trying to move in here? He's got those two Immortals, and know that Flash probably doesn't have too much tech, or doesn't have too much stuff just because he's teched so heavily with that 1-1-1. The bunker down, though, is really going to help. Can Harstem seriously break this?
Now, bear in mind as well, this entire time, Harstem did manage to keep a hold of the natural expansion. He did have the chrono boost from that Nexus as well. He's going to be able to get a lot of units out quickly should he desire it. And it looks like he wants to be aggressive towards Flash now as well. The Observer is on top of the ramp, sees exactly what Flash has to offer too. So it's not like this is a mystery. Harstem does know exactly where he's at. The Mothership Core, interestingly, is still back at home and almost has enough...
Oh, the hallucinated Immortal. So clever. Going to soak up the first little bits of damage. Really helpful there. And that means the first few tank shots aren't going to be able to do too much. Harstem is going for it.
The bunker.
SCV is getting pulled. The bunker goes down. But Harstem does not have enough. Stim from Flash is going to be moving down. Will pick off these Immortals. No. And that was too much of a commitment.
Yeah, that might be that. Harstem trying to counter with a bit of aggression of his own. Did a great job of picking apart, actually, a tank or two and getting the first bunker down. Now the Mothership Core on its lonesome, actually moving across the map. I wonder if he meant to have that with the army, because he's about to run into a wall of Marines. Okay, it looks like Flash is going to leave it alone for now, but the point is, 87 supply to 59 says that Harstem is going to take this advantage by the horns now.
Yeah, this is not looking good for the Fnatic player at the moment. That was a big overcommitment, and that means Flash going to come moving up the ramp. He's got a good number of tanks, a good number of Marines, and, of course, 4 medevacs there too. Is this going to be Harstem's final stand? The tanks trying to siege up, getting themselves into a good spot. And, well, the Nexus taking a lot of damage. The infantry kiting back all of these zealots. One tank will go down. The second tank, though, still up. The sentry's getting taken out, and I think Harstem is going to have to GG here.
Yeah, the DPS from the tank's a little bit too much here, unfortunately. And that's going to be it. Flash, ladies and gentlemen, completes his victory over Harstem 2-0. And that actually puts Flash 1-all in his group after his loss to Damaga. So it is still anybody's game to progress.